1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. You just did it again. I'm not playing this. This is not fair. Yeah, so you moved. Alison. I'm formerly a dentist. I'm English, but have lived in the chateau for the past 11 years.
And I'm Costas. I am a naval architect and marine engineer and a property developer in London. And we bought the chateau in June 2014. Now we are dedicating our full-time managing and taking care of the chateau after we sold our Paris apartment. There were different noble families that they were living here till the end of Second World War, I think. Then it was bought by a French plastic surgeon from Paris after the war. And then it was passed on to the previous owner that around the 50s or 60s, so maybe.
60s.
And then it's us. But we are the first non-French owners of the chateau.
How does it make you feel?
A responsibility.
Responsibility and transitional period.
Costas and I knew each other many years ago when he came to my hometown of Newcastle to study marine engineering and naval architecture. We were together for about 10 months, and then we separated because I needed to go to university, and I married somebody else and had 3 children. Costas married someone else and had 2 children, and we had absolutely no contact during those 25 years. So when Costas got in touch with me after 25 years, that's a whole story.
I think it was an emotional discovery after I watched a film called The Notebook, where somehow I associated the main characters of that movie with our past experience together. I thought, oh, I wonder what is happening to Alison. I found myself in Newcastle, and while I was there, I met a colleague of ours from the university times, and he reminded me, Alison married with a mutual friend as well. Then I thought, okay, maybe I should try to find how she is. I looked at in the social media if she has a presence, but she didn't. And then I had to resort in old-fashioned ways of yellow pages. And then I looked at under her surname. I knew it since we were in school together. And I found her dental practice. And I called her dental practice. We arranged to meet sometime in London. We met and we decided we like each other still after all these years.
You nasty person. You're not meant to do that. You're meant to be kind to me. I'm learning. That's really mean.
We had a long-distance relationship for about 2.5 years. And then we were meeting up initially once a month, and then we started seeing each other maybe twice a month, and then it was every week. He was a player, and I was a serious girl. I was just like, no, there's no way, because this guy has so many girlfriends, it's just like crazy. And then when I met him the second time, I don't know, he just seemed to, grown up a bit, I don't know. Still a big flirt, of course, but I think that's part of his nature. Eventually, I came to Paris one weekend and I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm absolutely exhausted. And he was like, no, don't finish it. And I said, no, I'm not finishing it. I'm reorganizing my work, so I'm going to come and live in Paris. And he was like, right, okay, so now we need to start looking for an apartment.
Yes. This is the first song we played when we came back together. C'est si bon. Parce que our life was c'est si bon.
This chateau has been here since 1543. There's been many different owners in its time. It was owned by a very nice French family who had lived here for 54 years. He regarded the chateau as a work of art, which I think it is. He was a collector of art. He collected some beautiful antiques and paintings, and he didn't want to split the collection up. The owner didn't want to sell. He really didn't. When we came, the chateau had been for sale for 8 years, but previously people had come and they were wanting to modernize it and change it and maybe turn it into a hotel and things like this. And we came and we were the sort of like an estate agent's dream in a sense, because you're meant to pretend you don't like something, you know, when you go, oh yeah, it's quite nice, this sort of thing. And we were just like, oh my God, it's beautiful. And we both looked at each other and we were just like, are we crazy? Yep, we're definitely crazy. Can we afford it? No. Is it too big? Yes. Is it too much work? Yes. But we love it. And he said, I've waited for this reaction from somebody, because that's how I felt 54 years ago.
I see the chateau as art, a project worth pursuing. So many different people that they come here and they say, thank you for sharing. This type of beauty exists because the style of the chateau is a Renaissance, French, Italian, 1543, almost like a palace. It's not really the typical French-style chateau. It is a lot of light colors, and that's what is very surprising about this construction. Well, this is our kitchen. And this is where we live and work during the day and prepare the breakfast for the guests. We have dinner together, we share wine together. And Alison uses this lacanche, and Alison can tell you more how she's using it.
This is my dream cooker. When you came to France, you couldn't have an Alga because it would be too hot. So I was over the moon to arrive here and find that there was this amazing...
A piano.
They call it a piano because it has 3 ovens, fan oven, a conventional oven, a warming oven, which are electric, and then it has 12 gas burners and hot plates. So to cook on this is literally a dream. Okay. So... So the secret is the salty butter. This is beautiful sal de mer. Yeah. Croissants are made with so much butter, and then you put extra butter on. So they are definitely delicious. This must be at least 50 years old. Try telling me that anything made nowadays will be here in 50 years' time. This is incredible, and I just love cooking on it. In the winter, this is the only place to be because this is a working fireplace. These are original tiles, and the ones at the front were all broken. In a way, for all that we're living in a beautiful historical building, you want to add a little bit of your own history, because otherwise it's like living in someone else's house and living in a museum. So these broken tiles, I thought it was an opportunity to do something different and leave our little print. I'm actually a dentist, and I work closely with a ceramicist who normally makes teeth. I asked him if we could design some tiles that we painted together, the idea, the motif and things, from mythical animals. Just a little bit of fun. So we painted out the designs and made them into tiles. Isn't that amazing? So this is our little bit of history adding to it. So hopefully they will stay here for a long time. The colour was originally yellow and blue, very much like Monet's kitchen. And we painted it ourselves the first time. because we wanted the colours of Provence. And the colours of Provence to me are lavender and olive. So we used Farrow and Ball olive, fantastic colour for all the cupboards. We used Sudbury yellow, a little knock to England for the chairs. So we painted the chairs. I thought they looked like Van Gogh's chairs. We haven't bought anything. Well, all of these things we brought from Paris because we had to start afresh in Paris. But we also, as well as inheriting the chateau, we inherited so many beautiful plates. It was crazy. So all the white stuff we had in Paris and all these beautiful ceramics, which are made by a lady in Saint-Quentin de Poterie. Look at this little jug with a little bird on it. It's so pretty. So these are all ours. Then I can't resist, because when I go to the Brocante, these beautiful old plates. I mean, this is just like, have we got enough plates? Oh my God, we've got enough plates. Temperatures that go down to sort of -4, and then this summer has been +40. So
not plus,
well, it was 40. It was 40.
Okay.
It was 40. Yes.
Okay.
It was, and which is very hot. The shutters would have kept the place cool. The buildings were built for withstanding all these weather conditions. We only renovated this room about 3 years ago because everything that we've done, we've tried to do authentically. This room had been covered in layers and layers of acrylic paint, which of course people used to use. Now, one of the things that does is it doesn't allow the stone to breathe. So we had a big problem with humidity. The walls were bright yellow, which was awful. And then there was red settees, and it just reminded me of tomato sauce on a fried egg. I thought it was awful. And I was desperate to get in here and do it all. And then we got some artists in, wonderful, wonderful artists, Samuel and Jan. Jan did the walls with a lime wash and built it up with natural pigments. Samuel is an artist. He used, again, old gesso, which is made with egg white. And so these are really old methods of restoring the fresco so that gradually we got the depth of colour that we wanted, but it allows the stone to breathe. We were very, very fortunate because the previous owner had collected this beautiful collection of art and antiques. He didn't want to split the collection up. Costas did a very good thing with the previous owner because he said to him, let's negotiate a fee for the whole thing, including all the art. That means you don't have to throw out anything, because he just couldn't bear the thought that he was going to have to break this whole thing up. And he said, we will buy it as seen. Now that means you're buying things that you really haven't got a clue, because we didn't know anything about tapestries or things like this. And in fact, it's made in silk. It's about 300 years old. It was a way of showing that they were wealthy enough to have exotic travel. It's a bit like people showing their photograph nowadays. This is them showing that they could travel to Constantinople, which of course now is Istanbul, which must have been a huge undertaking in those days because obviously no aeroplanes, no trains. You would have to go overland and by boat. And in fact, the beams are painted of things that were representative here, such as jousting and music and things like that. Now, there's 2 elephants here, so I don't think they ever had elephants, but that would be, again, a reference to foreign travel.
We bought it from
These are English. There's a lot of English things here because I'm English and I just didn't know where to get things in France. Now it would be a nightmare. The time will come when we have to move somewhere else. And what will you take and what will you leave? It's like, whoa. Hopefully take
I will leave everything. I will leave everything for the next guardian.
No,
Yes.
I won't.
I never had a proper home for years that lived there, and therefore I feel nostalgic from living. So I would personally make another deal for the next person that's coming.
Just everything has a story. I mean, this cushion, right? This was some material, the beautiful, beautiful old silk that we found in a brocante. And they had this beautiful material. So we got Aline, who is our femme de ménage, to make them into cushion. And things like this little solitaire set that's made with polished stone. And I play this with my grandson, and he and I get really quite competitive about it. So certain objects have got memories. We bought him in the market, and he is solid bronze. He weighs an absolute ton. How on earth you and Terry carried him upstairs, I will never know. And after we bought this in the market, it just like, boom, the suspension of the car was just like on the ground. And just things like that are all lovely memories. So how would you let him go?
I don't want to carry him again.
No, that's a point. I don't know if I would carry him again.
I also like the dining room. If we have a party, we can split the tables and then we can create a dancing floor. The last wedding, and everybody loved dancing around that room, which is really beautiful. And then also because it has outside terrace. In the summer, we can have dinner in the night, surrounded by the lemon trees and
There's some jasmine.
it is really
smell
nice.
is amazing.
It's really nice. This tapestry is quite interesting because it depicts sacrifice of Isaac from Abraham and the intervention of the angel. It is 1600s, and it is a series of 4 other biblical depictions, but the other ones are in museums. This is the only one that is in private hands. So we were very lucky acquire this together with the chateau, because the length of the ceiling, it is almost like it's a custom-made for this height of the ceilings. And the colors of the room help to keep the darkness that is required for this type of tapestry. The chandeliers, we were told by the previous owner, they were taken from theater in Milan, and originally they had proper candles. We were very enthusiastic about the atmosphere they would create. So we had dinner once with guests around here, and of course all the wax from the candles fell in everybody's heads. Since then, we decided to modernize the idea of LEDs as opposed to absolutely real. We repainted the walls the same color as what it was before, so that was part of our work. Everything else that you see, they were here, except we bought those because I thought it would go very well. And also, this is an amazing piece of marble. The color and everything, that it was almost fitting exactly this space.
I think the reason we were so overwhelmed by it, it's very much a Renaissance castle. This was built as a hunting lodge and entertainment chateau. And Renaissance was coming out of a period of a long war in France. They were fed up of doom and gloom, so people were ready. I mean, Renaissance literally means rebirth. So it was a time to celebrate art and music. And that's exactly what went on in this chateau.
If you see it from above, you see you have north, south, east, west, and everyone has light. So that was what I think it was extraordinary. Either in the morning, because there is a morning sun comes here for breakfast, we can sit here. And those as well, we inherited from the previous owners. They are very, very convenient. It's the right size to create a convivial atmosphere of people drinking around and discussing. And we have all these lemon trees that you can see, and so far they are so good. We get lemons for our lemonades from here. We don't need to buy a lot of lemons.
For me, one of the biggest joys has been restoring the garden, because the garden was very overgrown, especially the garden around the pool, because the pool used to be a blue plastic liner and with stones around it, which the cats used as a litter tray. So you can imagine it wasn't very nice. So one of the first things we did was to restore the pool. And we took out 5 trees. I hate cutting trees, but first of all, one of them had a disease and that led to another. Yeah, 2 had disease, but also the whole thing was in shade. And so we needed to open it all up and create that framework, which beautiful sort of theatrical backdrop. But everything had to be cut right back because it was all overgrown. When we did the new pool, to put it like an old stone bassin with the stone around it and moved the columns so that they were sort of holding that frame, made the little platform at the back and planted roses. We ordered about 100 David Austin roses from England and planted them all to go up the walls. So in April, May and June, oh my goodness, the garden is just full of roses and the smell is unbelievable. And we do everything organically. We don't use pesticides. So suddenly we've got the birds. It was amazing, wasn't it? Because we noticed it, we kept saying, was it like this before? Because you couldn't hear the birds' song. Because if there's nothing for birds to eat, then you don't get the birds. But because we now do everything without pesticides, there's little geckos and people don't like wasps, but wasps are really useful because wasps eat mosquitoes. So everything has a purpose. So it's getting things into a balance. And that took quite a few years to do that, to get it so that it was like a sort of eco-balance.
A lot of people take a swim in the night because just before going to sleep.
And it looks so gorgeous because the garden is all lit. And so you just have the lights on around the pool or it just in the garden and just swimming it. It is seriously like a magical experience.
So I will take you now to Cottage 3. So welcome to Cottage 3, or the Honeymoon Cottage, or the Romantic Weekend Cottage, or Princess Cottage. As part of the original designs, art is amazing. It's the chinoiserie. It was the time where it was very fashionable in France to create depictions of the exotic countries like China in those times. So we love color as a space. And people that they stay here, they say they never slept better in their lives. It is also very attractive to Instagrammers and influencers, where they like to step on there and photograph themselves on the mirror. And sometimes we come back and we see things moved, and we say, why is moved? And then we realize it's because they want to take photos. So I think more funny than this I cannot get, but when we have to move things around back again, it's not funny at all. So here you can see the ancient village from here. The cherry tree is very high. Figs, we have olive trees, and this garden goes quite high up.
We weren't looking for a chateau. We were looking for a nice old village house that could accommodate 5 children and then grandchildren. So it was totally by chance that we found this place, wasn't it? And as Costas said, we knew that it had to be easy access for people to be able to come, because his family were living in different parts. My children were in Newcastle or in London. And so we needed somewhere that was easy access. So it's perfect in that it's only half an hour from Avignon, and you can fly to Paris and get the train down, or fly to Marseille, or fly to Nîmes. So it was really well served with transport connections. So that was the reason we started looking at the area. The estate agent was very clever, because she showed us this place and it was instant. We just fell in love with it.
Here, which is the guest kitchen in a sense. As you can see, the style is completely different. It's like almost like a cave. It is fascinating how they managed to put all those stones. We did this ourselves, and each room has a refrigerator. So every room has individual ability to keep their own things away from the other guests. This is a communal living room area. It is really cool during the summer days where people are spending time by the pool. They want to come in and cool. Big table was here, the big painting was here. Of course, we improvised with all those hats that people leave behind, so we put it out there as a souvenir. So it's a little bit of a fun thing to do. It's a collection. Here is the only room that is connected inside. It's called La Suite. It's very, very interesting because originally it was the office of the previous owners. They used to sit right here. We did the fabric, but the bed was as original. This library was there, but we put the books. And of course, there is a collection of boats to remind people that I used to be a naval architect and a marine engineer. So yeah, this is a very unusual bathroom. We brought this from the UK, but everything else is untouched. We are planning to renovate.
We use every room in the chateau. It seems crazy, doesn't it? Because even when we don't have guests, we use this room. This is our sitting room. I love sitting in here. And the fire is a working fireplace. So you have a big roaring log fire and just curled up with a book. I mean, it's heaven. It's a wonderful place to be. It is a dream.
It's very, very quiet village. So we have no crime. We have no fear of anything taking place here. So it's nice.
Taking on a chateau is not an easy undertaking. And I think we're totally naive. I think in lots of ways still are. But in a way, I think that was good because we had to learn by experience. We had good things and bad things that happened, but the majority has been good. The feedback that we get from guests now who come is phenomenal, and that buoys us up and makes us feel that, okay, it has been a huge undertaking, and yes, we done all sorts of, trial and error, and it cleaned us out, didn't it? But I wouldn't regret any bit of it.
No,
I think it's been amazing.
I like to find some time to spend around the pool. So that is my favorite time. But most of the day is devoted in tasks. Sometimes to take things to the déchetterie, to take things to the laundry, to buy things in the supermarket. And most of the day in the morning is actually spent in doing things. But then we have check-ins after 3 o'clock, so then I have to make sure that I wear the right clothes for welcoming people. So, so it becomes narrower, that time of relaxation. What about you, Ali?
I'm no good at lying, doing nothing. So I'm busy from the minute I wake up in the morning and I start doing things around the place and getting things prepared and checkouts and supervising rooms getting done and what have you. So I'm very busy. My wind down time is around 6 o'clock. I don't drink wine, but I do like a tequila. So I pour myself a nice tequila with fizzy water and ice, and then I start cooking the meal. And for me, this is a lovely relaxation time, and just cooking and having a little tequila and then coming through. And we didn't have a television for years, did we?
Yes.
We were just so busy, we didn't have a television. And so now we have a television. So now, I'll be honest, we are very guilty, and we come through here and watch Netflix and things like that.
Not Netflix.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Well, a film. We don't watch normal television, we watch films.
Just don't let him watch another The Notebook.
I know. That's banned.
Whatever platform is showing that movie. Just cut it out. Okay, wonderful. Cut.